welcome back to another episode of The Natty Teacher. I'm, of course, your host, The Natty Teacher. Got a chilly morning on the docket here, man. It's in the 50s here in Michigan in August. Man, yeah, it says 55 degrees. It's a few minutes before 7 o'clock in the morning. On my way to the gym for a DELOAD Push B workout. Okay, DELOAD Push B. So nothing super crazy on the docket today, guys. Again, as we kind of are at the crossing over the halfway point of our training this week. I know it's not the most exciting stuff in the world, these deload weeks. You know, I'm not going crazy hard, crazy heavy. But again, I want to reiterate this, like I have in some of my other videos this week. It is important to do so. I promise. Like, I can feel my body finally kind of starting to come out of that, the fatigue state that, you get into after training for 6 or 7, 8 weeks hard in a row. Your body starts to feel it. So I can definitely tell that my body is starting to come out of that, recover, recuperate, re-energize. All the R words, man. All the cool stuff, man. Reinvigorate. So, basic stuff. A lot of the same movements. The only variation that you'll really see in this workout today is the fact that I am replacing a dumbbell side lateral with, I am going back to cables because I have had this, again, just been lingering for a little bit now, and I'm trying to get rid of it. Just a slight shoulder impingement in my right shoulder. Nothing overly painful, not really hindering my actual training. I just definitely notice it, put it that way. It's something I feel. Okay, and when you feel that, you kind of need to not just work around it, but work with it, in my opinion, and work through it, like find a way to actually help that get better. And so I did notice when I was doing those chest-supported dumbbell side laterals, it was kind of bugging this right shoulder a little bit. So gonna do something else to hopefully not bug it. It's just, again, I think people overcomplicate that sometimes, where it's like, man, I really want to do this exercise, but it bugs the crap out of my shoulder. It's like, well, just do a different exercise. That's why I don't flat bench press anymore. You know what I mean? I got to be a relatively heavy bencher, and I just had consistent rotator cuff issues with it. And it's why I don't flat barbell bench anymore. And also, it's just, I never really found it actually grew my chest. Like, it was good for strength, but it never really grew my chest very much. I just never really connected with it in that way. So, not that it's bad exercise. It is a good exercise for sure. But anyways, so first exercise, it's going to be one of two things. It's going to totally depend on how many people I have in the gym right now. And it's kind of how I'm going to have to base it, from now on. But it will be, I like to open up with some sort of fly variation. But it's either going to be a cable fly or maybe a pec deck, some sort of contraction-based variation movement where I'm, again, I know people like to not call it this. I like to call it this, but it's going to be something where I essentially stretch those chest fibers out and then close them together. So stretch the chest fibers out and then bring them really, really close together, and we're going to force as much blood into the chest as possible. Then we'll move on to like our, our bigger movements, our low incline Smith and high incline dumbbell press, all that kind of stuff, but obviously with, a decent amount less weight than what I normally would be using. So anyways, so top set of some some top set of some fly based movement coming at you right now. All right, so as promised, a flying variation here. So we're doing some high to low cable flies here. What we're trying to do is actually, when you'll see my chest, if you watch closely, when I am retracting the weight up, so allowing the weight to come back up like this portion right here, I'm actually leaning slightly forward into the movement. So again, I'm not really using a ton of weight here. This is also a deload here, so I think I'm using like 40 pounds per side. We did 2 sets of 12 here. Very nice and easy. Trying to keep those hands relatively lined up with the upper portion of the chest, and again, kind of lean into the movement and get that nice full contraction, full hard squeeze at the bottom. It's a great way to get the chest pumped up, get everything ready to rock and roll and primed for some larger pressing movements. So you absolutely do not have to start with a flying type movement, pec deck or what have you. But if you've never tried it before, you might want to give it a whirl. It's good stuff. Then we moved into our low incline Smith. Probably, I would not even probably, it's my favorite pressing movement out there, honestly, especially my favorite Smith press. So again, deloading here, we're just using 2 plates. Did 2 sets of 10 here. Felt good, felt really good actually, felt nice and strong for still using 2 plates. So again, control that weight on the way down, rest it on the chest, and then come up. So you'll see there, I'm sitting on the chest for a brief moment, so I'm not bouncing off the chest. We are just kind of keeping constant tension, keeping it moving, and going from there. So again, 2 sets, 10 reps there, nothing super crazy. Then high incline dumbbell press. This one, bring it all the way down. You can see that the dumbbells are literally touching the upper chest or front delt. Again, this one I try to keep those elbows slightly flared out instead of tucking them in. We're trying to put as much tension on those front delts and upper chest as we possibly can here. I'm just using the 70s here. So again, usually I would work in that 90 to 95 pound rep range, or rep range, wow, 90 to 95 pound weight range or so. The goal is to, at the end of this next training cycle, be up to the hundreds for a set of 6 to 8 as my top set. Again, these are 2 pretty smooth sets of 10 reps with the 70s. Nothing super crazy. Don't drop the dumbbells. Okay, some cup side laterals. A phenomenal variation here. What we're doing is we're actually working in more of the mid-range of the movement here. Okay, so you'll see that I have the pulley adjusted to right, just a smidgen. You could even bump this up one if you really wanted to. I found this to be comfortable for me though. Right below the waist. Okay, we're not stepping super far out from the pulley. You can even, hold it with one hand for stabilization. All we're trying to do here is essentially keep that arm essentially pretty much dead straight, essentially there almost, and just draw that hand up. Okay, it is a great variation for the side delt. It puts a ton of pretty consistent tension onto the side delt, and again, you don't need a ton of load to get a lot of stimulation here. If anything, I would recommend keeping the reps in that 10 to 20 rep range or so. Then just some nice straightforward push downs here. We are using an easy bar. You'll see that I bring the weight up and load those triceps up. Again, really get it going here. We just did 2 sets of I think like 13 reps here. And again, it was nothing crazy. With triceps, I do recommend, unless you're doing like a close grip press or what have you, but for like push downs and overhead extensions and what have you, I would keep them in that 8 to 20, 10 to 20 rep range. You're never really going to see me doing like a tricep push down for 4 reps or something like that. Really squeeze hard, allow that tricep to be fully loaded, and get a nice good squeeze at the bottom. So again, 2 sets there. And then we ended with 2 sets of overhead rope extensions. I was kind of playing around with this a little bit. This is nothing I've really ever experimented with. So what we're doing is we're pulsing at the top. So we're sitting in that chest position, and then instead of like flexing super hard at the top, we're kind of keeping constant tension on the triceps. It felt pretty good. I liked it. It is definitely something I'll probably try again. When I do this exercise next, though, I actually probably will do, I don't know if I'm going to do 1 arm overhead extension. I'm not sure. I want to play around with this particular variation here because I connect with it, but not as well as I would like sometimes. So I'll keep playing with it because I do like it, and I like sticking with some overhead stuff. So felt good. Again, 2 sets here, and then all I have really for the rest of the day, and I'm actually about to go do it here in a minute, is my half-hour cardio. Push B, deload push B in the books. Man, felt good. I don't know if I've ever had a time where I've deloaded with 2 plates on a pressing movement. Well, other than like machine pressing, of course, but like a fixed, like a Smith or a barbell press. That was awesome. That was cool, man. So strength is definitely increasing. It was 2 straight sets of 10 with 2 plates on that low incline Smith that were, I gotta admit, pretty straightforward, pretty simple sets. Really were not super taxing, so that was cool to feel that. Definitely am excited to continue to progress in that particular movement for sure. Anyways, great stuff, guys. Really focused on tempo and control, getting those deep stretches per usual, of course. And now we just carry that over into our, regular training weeks and go from there, man. That's the whole point. So if you're not deloading, make sure you deload. I promise you, if you're watching this video and you are not somebody familiar with the concept of deloading, make sure you do a little research online. Comment on one of my videos on this video, and I can help kind of walk you through it. You can shoot me a direct message on Instagram at the Natty Teacher if you're confused about it, and I can help walk you through it. Because again, it is extremely important, whether you're natural, enhanced, doesn't matter. I have seen this trend in the fitness industry that I'm really excited about. that more and more people are recognizing, like, hey, I go into the gym and it's not just grip it and rip it every single day. There are sometimes I got to go into the gym and just move blood into the muscle and recover and actually allow my body to heal, because if I keep driving myself into the ground, I'm going to bury myself and then not be able to dig myself out eventually. So I'm really, really excited to see that trend in the fitness industry. I promise you it's going to be more, more longevity. It's going to be, healthier joints and tendons, not just muscles, because people forget about all the other important jazz that is associated with your muscles, like your joints and your tendons, and they need to stay strong and healthy as well. This deloading process, man, it's only going to be to your benefit. I can promise you that. So, anyways, make sure you like and share the video. Drop a comment below if you got any questions, any feedback, anything you'd like to see. I'm going to continue. I did one yesterday. I appreciate those who responded to my little poll yesterday. I'm going to continue to do polls, probably pretty close to a daily basis, try to get more involved with this little community that we're building here with the Natty Teacher. So ask more questions, do more things, have more time to hear from you guys, not just in the comment section, but also in little daily polls, or maybe every day or so polls, just to hear from you. So make sure you follow along with that as well. Drop that subscribe if you have not. Again, I always say it every video, and I always will, unless you don't want to. You obviously do not have to, but if you want to continue to follow along and see this ugly mug at the top of your feed on YouTube every day, hey man, drop a subscribe, I'll be there, we can hang out. But for today though, I am the Natty Teacher, and real quick, make sure you tune in tomorrow. We got our deloaded pull B, our vertical pull day, so more of our lat bias. And I mean, it is. I throw bunny ears up there, but it legitimately is more of a lat bias pull workout tomorrow. So make sure you tune in for that. We'll cruise through that nice early morning session, and we will go from there. Anyways, guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in and following along on this journey. God bless. I will catch y'all tomorrow. For today, I'm the Natty Teacher, and this episode of Summer School, as I pull into the garage, is out. Peace and love from the man above.